Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to deal with face swapping. Unlike other methods of IP adapter, for example, that I'm sure that you've heard of, or using embedments or Loras and things like that, the face swap works a bit different. It doesn't learn the image and then generates an image based on the face that you provided. Rather, it generates an image and then it takes a source image and projects it into the generated image. This gives you great flexibility because it means that you can first load external images as the image that you want to project your face on. You can use any generated image without any limitations. When you use Loras or embedments or IP adapter and things like that, it will usually keep the output image very similar to the source image. And the face swapping allows you not to be constrained to the initial image that you're having the face on. So this is very interesting. It's very simple. The installment of it is a bit complex, but we'll go over it and you will see that eventually when you start using this node, it gives you great flexibility. And most of all, it gives you the ability to create consistent characters in your generations, which is an amazing advantage when it comes to image generations. So let's not waste any more time. Let's open up the ComfyUI and get started. As always, we're going to start with the default ComfyUI. And we're going to go to the manager and we will click on update all and give it a minute to make sure that everything is up to date. Once it is done, it will ask you to restart the ComfyUI and we will do just that. And once we are done and everything is reset and up to date, we're going again to the manager and we will go to the custom nodes manager. In here, we're going to search for the reactor. And what the reactor gives us is the nodes that allow us to do a fast face swap, meaning that it will take one image of a face, it will take one image that was generated or loaded, and it will replace the face from the face image into the generated image. Now this works very fast and it's very good, and it allows you to be consistent with the facial features of your characters. This means that you can create several images of the same character with the same face. So we're going to install this node, but there is something else that the reactor node requires, and this is called insight face. The insight face, by the way, is required by a lot of nodes that deal with face recognition and face replacement. And in order to install insight face, we have to go over several steps. It's a bit complicated, but not too much, because the reactor node, if we'll go to the reactor nodes GitHub page, here under the installation, they give you a step-by-step information how to install insight face. So we don't want to install the Visual Studio Code and compile insight face on our own. We want to take a pre-compiled feature, and in order to do this, we will simply click here these steps where it says, or if you don't want to install Visual Studio, just click on this step. And what they did, they created a pre-compiled insight face components for Python 3.1, Python 3.11, and Python 3.12. How do you know which one you need to download? In order to do that, we will go and we will open the command line. If you are not familiar with the command line, the simplest way is simply to open the File Explorer and then go to where your ComfyUI is installed. In there, you'll see a folder called Python Embedded. Just go into that folder and then you can just click here outside of the file path and everything turns blue and you simply type cmd and enter. Once you do that, you will open the command line in the folder that you are working. And here in the Python Embedded, we have all the files that run the Python behind the ComfyUI. And here we will simply type python.exe. You can start typing pyt and click the tab until you see it says python.exe and --version. What this will do, it will tell us which version of Python we are running on our ComfyUI. And you can see here that my version is 3.11. So going back to the install instructions, I will follow the steps that are here, taking into account that I am going to use the for Python 3.11. Now the steps are very simple. Let's go over it one by one. So this is how we can find out what version of Python we're using. We just found out that we're using the version 3.11. Our next step is to download the pre-built Insight Face package for Python, and we're going to download for Python 3.11. We'll click it and it will download a file for us. This is the name of the file. You can see that it's very long, but nevertheless, you need to remember this location. For me, it's just downloaded it into the download folders. Later on, we will see how we can install it. Then we need to go and make sure that our PIP is installed and up to date. PIP is a package management for Python, and it allows to easily install packages, either ones that are officially released or ones that are custom, like this Insight Face. So once again, inside the command line that we opened previously, inside our Python embedded folder, we will simply copy and paste the Python -m pip install -u pip. This actually tells Python to update its package management feature. Once we do that, you just need to copy the line that suits the version of your Python. For us, it was 3.11, which is this one, and we're going to copy it. And once again, inside our ComfyUI Python embedded folder, we're going to paste this line and run it. It will take some time, but it will install everything that relates to your Insight Face. Now, during the run, you might encounter some issues, and here on the GitHub of Reactor, they give us the most common errors that you might encounter. And if you're trying to install or run Insight Face and you encounter this error, attribute error, no type object has no, then it seems that it is related to the model file and you need to download it from scratch. So this means that you will manually download the model, and we will discuss the Insight Face model later on in this video. If you are having problem with Reactor Execute, this means that the input points have been changed with the latest update. Remove the current Reactor node from your workflow and add it again. This means that the Reactor node is not updated, meaning that you will simply have to go to the custom nodes tab, just click uninstall and reinstall. So if you encounter any error that shows in this list, it's pretty straightforward. They give you a step-by-step way to fix it. Basically, every common error that might occur on your installment process will show here, and just go over it and take a look at the solution that they suggest. If for some reason you're running it and you don't seem to manage to run the installment, just let me know in the comments and I will do my best to answer you as soon as possible. That said, after everything is set up and correct, we'll go to the ComfyUI and we will install the Reactor node for ComfyUI. This will give us the nodes needed for face swapping. Once we do it, we will have to restart, as usual, the ComfyUI, and then it will make sure that everything needed for the Reactor node to work is installed. Once that's done, we can go now and start using the Reactor node. So the idea behind the Reactor node is rather simple. Let's say we're going to generate the first image that we want, and we will choose one of the models. It doesn't really matter which one. So let's just use the colorful V6, and here we will say a portrait of a warrior man. In the portrait of a warrior man in an apocalyptic ancient world. 568 by 10 by 1280, and we will make 16 steps with the CFG of 6.5, and we will use the DPM PP2M with a Keras scheduler and let it run. Let's remove the save image because we don't really want to save the image, and we will do a preview image instead and let it run. And once it is done running, you can see that we've got a very beautiful portrait of a warrior in an apocalyptic ancient world. Now let's see how we can take this portrait and replace it with another face. So let's just go to the view history. We'll click the load on this one just so we'll get the correct seed. We'll change it to fixed. And this way, next time that I'm clicking the Q prompt, it goes really fast because it doesn't have to run the generation again. And now what we want to do is load an image of a face that we want to project into this portrait. So we'll simply click the load image. We will simply click the load image node, and this will give us the ability to select an image that will be used as the reference of our image. Now, of course, it is recommended to only use an image that its focus is on the face. The more details you've got on the face, the easier and the more accurate the face projection will be. So we'll click on the choose file to upload. Let's go here to this area where I have this profile picture of a beautiful bearded man. I always look very weird in images. So we will take this image and we will try to hook it up and see if it manages to take the facial features of me and inject them or project them into this portrait. Now let's see how we're going to do it. We're going to double click and we're going to search for reactor, and here under reactor you will see that you have a fast face swap. We will do it here. We will take it, and it requires an input image. So the input image will be the image that we want to inject or to project the face into. So this goes into the input image. This is the source of the face image. And here you have the swap model. This means the model that uses the model that this node will use in order to swap the face. And you can see that this model is called InSwapper128. Simply go to the GitHub page of the ComfyUI reactor, and if you'll scroll down, there you will see that they have this section where they say that the models being used are the InSwapper128 by Onyx. To manually download the file, I will add a link in the description. It's simply a link where it holds the model file. Just click on the download, and once you download the file, just go to the ComfyUI models folder, and then you will see a folder called Insight Face. In there, you need to put the InSwapper model. You can also see here several model files, but these will be installed automatically. So just make sure that the InSwapper128 model is in the Insight Face models folder. And once you do that, you can just click on the refresh. So it will refresh the list of models and choose the InSwapper128 Onyx model. We need, of course, to make sure that we have a preview image, for example. This will be the output. And here you have something called face model, which we will discuss after this run. So let's click the Q prompt and give it a run. You can see that everything loads up, and in a few seconds, we will already have the swapped face. So it was really quick, and you can see that it did a very nice job putting my face on this image, but something is not quite right. If you'll see and take a deep look, you will see that the resolution of the generated image is very low. Now, previously in older versions of the face swap, you had to use another node that will fix this resolution, but here on the current and the updated version of face swap, of the reactor face swap, you have a predefined or a pre-built face restoration model that you can use here, and here you can use any of these models. Now this is where you can get these models. If you go back to the GitHub of the ComfyUI reactor node and scroll down, there you will see the announcement that now the reactor face swap node supports a pre-built face restoration concept, and here they will tell you where you can find the face restore models. Once again, I will add the links separately in the description. We will just click here, and you will see that here you have several models that you can use. I usually use the GFGAN and the Code Reformer. This gives me the best results, and once you copy them, you just go to the ComfyUI folder, and here under models, you will see that you have the face restore models. And if not, just create this folder. And here you will see that I've put all the face restoration models. Once again, just go here and click refresh if you need. And this time we will go with the GFP GAN V1.4. and we will queue prompt again. Let's give it a few more seconds to process, and you will see immediately that now the results will be much smoother and with a much higher quality. Okay, so now the image looks very nice, and you can see how fast I projected my image into that. Look at the amazing thing that it actually knew how to deal with the beard that is covering the vast majority of my lower end of the face, and it managed to take this beard and somehow combine and make it a bit more white to properly match my face. I really like the image that we got, but let's see if it now works with a different image. So now instead of a warrior, let's go with something different, and we'll say man hovering in space with an alien-like face, staring at the camera with a sad look. Let's see what we get. And let's click the Q prompt once again and wait for the result. Now, if we look at the generated image, this is not yet with the face swap. You can see that it's a very complex image for a face swap to work with because the facial features are alien-like and they are very different from mine. So let's see how well it did. And if we look at, you can see that it really struggled doing it and it didn't really do a good job. You need to make sure that the images that are being generated are of more human in nature, because the model will struggle finding the facial or replacing the facial features of images that are not that humanoid. And if we'll go here, we will say that not an alien-like face, but we'll just remove the alien face, and we'll click Q prompt again, and we will see what we're going to get. So now that we have a more humanoid face features, you will see that it did a better job replacing my image. I recommend finding several directions of the face that you want to project and choose the face that suits the angle better, and this way it will make sure that the facial features fit the end result better. But you can see that it really gives you the ability to generate a consistent face for your image. Now, this also works in videos. It works pretty much the same. The only difference is that instead of using an image generator, you can load a video and then use nodes that track the face swap on each of the video frames, and then eventually you can combine the video. I'm going to do a video that deals with handling videos inside ComfyUI in general, and not necessarily in a specific concept of face swapping, but the idea works the same. Once you understand the basic, it pretty much works similar. Now, what's all that face model thing is? The idea behind the face model is that it allows you to take a face and keep all the facial features of it and save it as a face model. And then for next images, it will do a much better job that instead of using a source image, you will just use a face model, and it will allow you, or you can use it in combination, and it will allow for a much better embedment of the face. Now, how to create a face model is rather simple. So here you have the output of the face model, and if you just search for face model, you will see that you have a node called Save Face Model, which accepts an image, the face model, and you can just click the save, and it will generate a model. Now, another thing that I want to take note on is the input face index and the source faces index. The concept is very simple. Just load an image with the two images, and you will see that you can, if you leave it the same, it will project the first one on the first one, the second one on the second one. If you want to project a specific face, just don't use 0, just say 1 or 2, and it will project the first one to the first one, the second one to the second one, and so on. The detect gender input and detect gender source allows to project an image of a female on a female or a male on a male. I rarely use it, but you can simply do some trial and error and see if it indeed improves the result. So this is the basics of using the fast face swap. I really like playing with this node. I create a lot of funny images, especially for my family, with this node. So I really hope you will enjoy this node. Let me know in the comments. So I really hope you understand the potential of this node and the things that you can do with it. It's really awesome. I really like playing with this node and generating very funny images and things like that. I really hope you like this video. If so, see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye.